Welcome to today's class. Today we are going to discuss about another film, that is Offside, a film by Jafar Panahi. So this film clearly depicts what's the picture of Iran and what is the condition of women in Iran. So many Iranian girls love soccer, football tournaments as much as their countrymen and sports fans all over the world. But they are prevented by law from attending live soccer matches in their country. They love football, football matches as like the men are do, but they have no freedom to watch with men. Inspired by the day when his own daughter was refused entry to a soccer stadium in Iran, Jafar Panahi's Offside follows a day in the life of a group of Iranian girls attempting to watch their team's World Cup qualifying match against Bahrain at the stadium in Tehran. Though they are all spirited well to watch that film, they are not allowed to enter into the stadium because they are women. Because in Iran and Iran, it's a political system. No chances are there for women. They are they have no freedom to come to watch such entertainments and such sports. A desperate group of girls, united only by their desire to see their beloved team play live and in person, disguise themselves in merit ways, risking arrest to try to get into the game. The girls are either caught trying to get in or are spotted in the crowd once they make it past the entry guards, and all are taken to a holding area on the upper level of the stadium, where they are tortured by being able to hear the roar of the crowd without being able to see what is happening in the match. As they are tortured there, they can hear the sound that was roaring, that was coming from outside, from inside the stadium. The young women who range from timid to tomboy are guarded by a group of young soldiers who'd rather be watching the game themselves, out with their girlfriends or at home looking after their sheep. The soldiers and their prisoners are so close in age, and the girls' crimes so harmless that they have a hard time maintaining their adversarial role. As they wait out the game, the young men interact with and befriend the generally far more savvy woman. One girl is a tomboy from the city who taunts the guards about their country ways. Another young woman relates the adventure that got her caught to cheers from the other girls. She stole an officer's uniform to disguise herself, but made the mistake of sitting in the wrong chair in the VIP enclosure. Though these girls, they tried their best to disguise, but they cannot do it because one mistake was they are sitting in the wrong chair in the VIP enclosure. One young soldier who is as much a fan in his captives is pursued into shouting out the highlights of the game as he watches through a gate. When he is scolded by a slightly superior officer, his punishment is being forced to escort one of the girls to the bathroom. uh, Fearful of how the men in the stadium might react, he punches out the eyes of a cardboard player's poster to make a mask for his prisoner so she won't offend any man on the way. One girl turns out not to be a soccer fan at all, but has her own sentimental reasons for wanting to be at the game in honor of a friend. As the game nears its end, the girls are rounded up in a van to be transported to jail, along with another young man who was caught setting off firecrackers in the stadium. You have to see the plight of women in Iran. They are treated as it is the great crime of watching such tournaments or such sports or such entertainments. The soldiers in charge is persuaded to turn on the radio so they can hear the final moments of the game on the way, and when Iran defeats Bahrain to win the qualifying match, the day ends happily for all. So this is the story behind the film Offside. So here clearly picturize the conditions Iran, especially the pathetic condition of women. They have no freedom. They are tied everywhere. They are chained everywhere. That's the summary of this film Offside. Then we can study something about Jafar Panahi. In Iran, like many other countries, football is very important. As you can imagine, the majority of distractions are rather limited. So, football is both sport and entertainment. It is an opportunity for people to shout, let themselves go, expel all the pent up energy within them. Sometimes, when a match coincides with a demonstration and Iran wins, the demonstration becomes more intense. Okay, then this project, what is this project? 8 years ago, Iran beat Australia and qualified for the World Cup. Upon their return, the players were given a triumphant welcome by the population. It is prohibited in Iran for women to enter sports stadiums. However, this time uh, they were granted the right to celebrate the players' return. 5,000 women turned up and went inside stadium, and this spurred a lot of debate as to why women are forbidden from entering in the first place. I remember at the time reading an article by a sports journalist explaining that even in ancient Greece, women were confronted with this problem. For 100 years BC, women had to disguise themselves as men in order to cheer on their sons who were sports heroes. So, everywhere in the history itself, in everywhere, in almost all countries, the same things are there. What is the law? There is a problem in Iran because the barrier between what is permitted and forbidden is not always very clear. If, for example, music is banned, you can be sure that people will listen to it even more. Also, those who are there. So, the law is strong and that is against women. So, what is the condition of this film? It is almost like a documentary. The film is constructed like a documentary in which I inserted characters. Are we in a documentary or is this fiction? The action to reflect this ambiguity. So we tried to preserve a unity of time so that each second that passes the viewer feels he or she is watching a real event unfolding. Whether it is a story or something, we cannot think about it. It is a real thing, as like that we are watching that sports event, that is the football tournament, like that. A reality is there. From this, we can study the politics of Iran and the political field of Iran and the picture of woman. That's all. So it's a beautiful film by Jafar Panahi. Thank you all.